Ukraine sits atop a geological gold mine. Its reserves of lithium, titanium, and rare earth elements are crucial for 21st century technology. These minerals are essential for everything from smartphones to electric vehicles to fighter jets. Ukraine holds 5% of the world's known reserves of these critical raw materials. This makes Ukraine a strategically important country. Control over these resources could determine the balance of power in the coming decades. For years, these mineral riches remained largely untapped. The country's outdated mining infrastructure and political instability hampered development. But the war with Russia has changed everything. The West, particularly the United States, sees Ukraine's mineral wealth as a strategic necessity. They are eager to secure access and reduce dependence on geopolitical rivals like China. This has led to a flurry of investment deals and agreements. The stakes are incredibly high. The outcome of the conflict in Ukraine will have far-reaching consequences. It's not just about territory or political influence, it's about control over the resources that will shape the future. These minerals are the lifeblood of the global economy. They are essential for the continued dominance of the West, and they are now at the heart of a dangerous new chapter in the conflict. The United States and its allies are pouring billions into Ukraine's mining sector. In April 2025, the U.S. and Ukraine established the United States-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund. This fund will channel billions towards rebuilding Ukraine's war-torn infrastructure, including its mining operations. The U.S. has pledged to match Ukrainian contributions to the fund, with future military aid counting towards its share. This unprecedented agreement gives American companies preferential access to Ukrainian minerals. European nations are also vying for a piece of the pie. The EU signed a critical raw materials partnership with Ukraine in 2021. This partnership aims to secure the bloc's supply chains for key minerals. Private companies are also jumping on board. American and European firms are signing deals for lithium and titanium mining projects. This influx of investment is a lifeline for Ukraine's struggling economy, but it also carries significant risks. Russia views these investments with suspicion. Moscow sees the West's involvement in Ukraine's mining sector as a direct threat to its interests. The Kremlin has long considered Ukraine part of its sphere of influence. It is unlikely to cede control of these valuable resources without a fight. The influx of Western money and expertise could fuel further escalation. Russia may respond with increased military aggression, cyber attacks, or attempts to sabotage mining operations. The U.S. finds itself increasingly entangled in the Ukrainian conflict. What began as support for a democratic nation under attack has morphed into something more complex. Access to Ukraine's mineral wealth is now a core U.S. national security interest. This has profound implications for America's role in the war. The U.S. is now more invested than ever in preventing a Russian victory. This raises the specter of deeper involvement. The U.S. may be compelled to increase military aid, provide intelligence support, or even deploy troops to protect mining infrastructure. Such actions would be highly provocative to Russia, increasing the risk of direct confrontation between the two nuclear superpowers. The U.S. is walking a tightrope, balancing its strategic interests in Ukraine's resources with the need to avoid a wider war. Domestically, the issue of Ukraine is already deeply divisive. The Biden administration argues that securing access to these minerals is vital for America's economic and national security. Critics argue that the U.S. is being drawn into a costly and open-ended conflict over resources that are not essential to its survival. The debate over Ukraine is becoming a proxy for a larger debate about America's role in the world. The conflict in Ukraine is a harbinger of things to come. As demand for critical minerals soars, competition for resources will intensify. This will lead to new geopolitical tensions, alliances, and conflicts. The old world order, dominated by the West, is giving way to a more multipolar world, one in which resource-rich nations will hold increasing sway. China's rise is a prime example of this shift. Beijing controls a significant portion of the world's rare earth elements, giving it leverage over Western economies. China's Belt and Road Initiative is securing access to resources around the globe. This is reshaping global trade patterns and challenging U.S. hegemony. The U.S. is trying to counter China's growing influence, but it is unclear if it can maintain its dominance in this new landscape. The war in Ukraine is a stark reminder that resources are not just commodities, they are strategic assets. Control over these assets will determine the winners and losers in the 21st century. The U.S. and its allies are waking up to this reality, but they are playing catch-up. The rules of the game are changing, and the stakes have never been higher.